Hello, cheapskaters. I'm Kath Armstrong, creator of the Cheapskates Club, where our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing. If this is your first time visiting our channel, welcome. And if it's not, welcome back. If you like our channel, please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. I'll do my very best to reply to you, probably tomorrow. And if you're not already, subscribe and click the bell to turn on notifications so you'll never miss a show. Now, this is a YouTube live event and it is Tuesday, the 16th of November, 2021. The year is getting away from us. Well, do you all feel like you should have your floaties on? We have had a lot of rain. Great for my garden. The tomatoes, the capsicums, the eggplant are growing so fast. It's like they're growing before my eyes. It's almost like I can see them actually growing. But it has put a stop to our landscaping, unfortunately. The ground is so soggy. We sit one foot off the pavers and we just sink into the wet ground. On the upside again, our tanks are full. And I really wish we had more tanks, more ways to catch this water. It is such a valuable resource and I can't save any more of it. Anyway, the tanks are full. That's a blessing for the start of summer. We were away for a few days and it felt amazing to be able to leave home. And even with the rain and the wind and the hail and the cold, we had a wonderful time with our friends. But we had to come home. So we arrived home mid-afternoon Sunday. And, after a quick unpack and dumping the washing in the laundry and a really nice long hot shower, everyone was wanting to know what was for tea. It's like they can't get a meal themselves sometimes. Anyway, the boys had planned to have chicken wraps, so they had the chicken out and they had the wraps out. And I had a few leftover bits in the fridge from the weekend. So we ended up having a bit of this and a bit of that for dinner. There weren't quite enough wraps. But you know what? It was so easy to just get out the flour, add a little bit of oil, add a little water, and make them. Now, the recipe is in the breads recipe file on the Cheapskates Club website. There's actually a couple of different recipes. They are super simple and they are super good. You don't need to worry about them not being good. They are really, really good. And you can use white flour, you can use wholemeal flour, you can use spelt flour, you can use a mix of flours. They even turn out with gluten-free flour. So they're really, really good. But of course, because we had wraps from a packet and wraps that Mum had made, then there was the argument about who was going to get the nice, fresh, hot mood wraps. They sorted it out and I think they all had one each, one hot one each, and off they went. They were happy. It was so convenient because I had the ingredients. So that meant everyone could have wraps for their dinner. Ingredients gave me the option to make them or to find something else for dinner or something else to use. I chose to make the wraps. That's super simple, really are super simple. And I know they're generally not expensive. Well, I get the Aldi ones, so I can't say what they are at the other supermarkets. And they do keep a long time, or they should. Check the dates on your packets. If it's a short best before, look for one with a slightly longer one because the ingredients, wraps should be nothing more than a flour, a rising agent, oil and salt. If there's anything else in them, don't buy them. And because they're so basic and plain, that means there's not a lot in them to cause them to mold or go off quickly. So they keep a fairly long time, and they can be frozen. So good. See, when you have ingredients, you have options. You can choose to do different things. Now, you all know that I meal plan. You know, I meal plan a year in advance. It works for me. It might not work for you, but it works for me. So, I like doing my meal plan in advance, and I've already started on next year's meal plan. It's almost finished. Now, it helps, of course, that we have pizza, or the boys have pizza every Thursday. So Thursdays are taken care of in the meal plan, and Sunday is pretty much always a roast of some kind. And I try to alternate it between chicken, lamb, chicken, beef, chicken, lamb, chicken, beef, just to vary it up a bit. Although we've not had much lamb or beef this year, it has been too expensive. So that's another day taken care of. Tuesday is usually a pasta day on the meal plan, some sort of pasta. It'll be spag bowl, or it could be a lasagna, it could be gnocchi, whatever. So that's another day. It's pretty easy. So meal planning a year in advance works for me because I shop a year in advance too. So I know I have the ingredients. I'm just sorry, guys. I've just seen Delaney's comment. I'll chat about it in a minute. So I shop in advance. I meal plan in advance. I have the ingredients. I have options. Absolutely. It's just amazing the options that you have when you have ingredients. Now, I just want to go back and find this comment because it's about water tanks. It's a good one. The day is coming when tanks and dams will attract a charge for the water being diverted from the catchment systems. Dams on farms, depending on the size of it, farmers are already being charged to catch water on their own land in a dam that they've built themselves, or was, So yes, and it's been a real, it's a bit of a bugbear of mine that farmers are charged for catching something that falls out. Now, if they didn't have the dam, it'd soak into the ground, and depending where they are in the catchment, it might benefit some sort of dam, but often it doesn't. It's just a money-making thing, and I hate it. I really loathe things like that. The day's coming when they'll try and charge us for breathing, I think. But anyway, yeah. So now let me get back to where I was. Sorry, that just popped up and I saw it. Alrighty, now I've lost my track. Let me go back here. Okay, so when you've got ingredients, I have a whole heap of ingredients. If I look on the meal plan and it says pasta bacon salad, and I don't have a pasta bake in the freezer, and I don't want to make a pasta bake. I can use those ingredients to make something else, because I could use the mince and veggies, the carrot, the onion, the tomato, the herbs, to make rissoles or meatballs and pasta. And if I have a tin of tomatoes or a jar of my own tomato sauce, we can have spaghetti and meatballs instead of pasta bake. It works because I have ingredients, and because they're easy to switch around. It also helps that we don't eat fancy recipes. We just don't. Because I do it all the time. I meal plan so far ahead that, well, you all know, the meal plan's on my fridge. It gets updated once a month. Life happens. sometimes the meal plan just doesn't work for whatever day or week it is. And so it gets rearranged. It gets shuffled around, it gets discarded. Some days in this house are long and hard. Some days are just frantic and crazy. Some days are just hilarious. And I love the meal plan because most of the time it makes getting dinner on the table fairly mindless. I just look at it and go, yep, pasta, bacon, salad, know what I have to do or what someone else has to do. Sometimes even mindless is too hard. Or I'll look at it and go, I don't feel like pasta bake. And so I turn the ingredients into another dish. Now, a good example of this is tuna surprise. Now, normally I would love tuna surprise. It's really easy, it's quick, it's tasty, it's real winter comfort food. But occasionally I don't want tuna surprise, so it becomes fish cakes. The main ingredients are the same, the tuna, the onion, the herbs, the egg. I switch out rice for the potato. I'll leave out the soup base because that can be used for another dish. Have tuna surprise. Or it can be tuna melts. Now, we really love tuna melts on a Saturday night. They're quick, they're easy, they're really, really tasty, they're delicious. Use pantry ingredients. So switching things around when you have ingredients is easy. If you buy the ready-made meals, it's not quite so easy. So my basic pantry ingredients are, I get asked this all the time, I keep the flours, self-raising plain, wholemeal, corn flour, sugar, white and brown, oil, rice, pasta, some herbs and spices. I also keep tinned tomato soup, cream of chicken or celery or mushroom, whatever was on sale, soups, tinned pineapple, apricot nectar. I was at the food factory outlet the other day and picked up some more. Look, I've been chipped over the years about using tinned soups. They're convenient. Now, I'm sure you can make tomato soup if you want to. I know you can. I've done it. I choose not to. It's just as easy and just as cheap for me to buy a tin of tomato soup from Aldi. If you want to make tomato soup, go to it. But I don't. And it's the same with the cream of chicken soup. When it's on sale for $1 a can, I stock up and I will add them to the pantry. I might add 12 or more to the pantry. Now, I do make cream of chicken soup. It's really simple, and the recipes on our Cheapskates Club website, and it's really straightforward and uses basic ingredients. But sometimes for $1 a can, convenience wins. And sometimes it isn't cheaper to move something. Go figure, folks. Sometimes it's just cheaper to buy it. And if that's the case, that's what I do. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. If it's going to take hours of labour and cost more, then I'll happily buy whatever it is and not hesitate. Now, I still prefer to cook and bake from scratch, and I do most of the time, but there are times when it just doesn't make sense. So, if you add a tin of soup or a packet of casserole base to the pantry, don't feel guilty about it because it's your pantry. You're adding the ingredients that you use to your pantry. You build your pantry to suit your needs and likes, not mine, not your best friend's, yours. You choose the ingredients that work for the meals and the dishes that you like and that you make and that your family likes. Now, I know there's things like pancake shakers. Well, a basic pancake batter is just self-raising flour and milk. You can add sugar. Now, little hint, no more than a teaspoon of sugar, a level teaspoon of sugar per cup of flour, or the pancakes will burn in even the best greased frying pan. because it's the sugar in the batter that makes the pancakes stick and burn. So leave the sugar out if you want to. You can add an egg to the batter if you want to. It's extra nutrition and it does make them a little lighter. And if you want really light, fluffy pancakes, use buttermilk. It makes delicious pancakes. And while cultured buttermilk is hard to find at the supermarket and expensive, you can do a mock version by adding a teaspoon of white vinegar to a cup of milk, give it a stir, and then let it sit for 10 minutes to curdle. Now, buttermilk is thick. It's supposed to be thick. It's a cross between regular milk and cream. So it still pours, but it's a thick pour. Like a custard, maybe not quite as thick as a custard. So if you're going to move buttermilk, give it time to curdle. And it does take a few minutes. So 5-10 minutes is all it needs. And that makes the lightest, fluffiest pancakes. And you just need to think a few minutes ahead when you're going to make them so that you can do the buttermilk. Now, pancakes use ingredients. To make a batch of plain pancakes costs about 55 cents. So in this case, while the shakers might be fun for the kids and might seem convenient, they are not cheaper. They're not really that convenient either because you can't get all the batter out. Now, when we're going away camping, we like pancakes sometimes. And so I just, do up flour, powdered milk, put them into a zippy bag, and then all I need to do is add water. And we've got our pancake batter ready to go. So if you like making up your own mixes, do that. And let the kids learn to cook pancakes that way. It's so much easier. So, ingredients give you options. We've talked about it before, but you don't need to make cooking hard work when you use ingredients. Keep your meals simple. And simple doesn't mean bland or boring or unappetizing. It means they're pretty much fresh and delicious and easy for whoever's cooking and cleaning up to get them ready. So think of things like that. They're really, really I keep saying basic, but they're not really basic. They're just family food. There you go. Family food. Focus your meals on family food and keep the fancier things for special occasions. Works well. Got a question. I haven't tried to make buttermilk with a plant-based milk. Soy milk would curdle really, really badly and not be pleasant. I don't know about almond or oat milk. I wouldn't try it with soy milk. I would think that it with soy milk, no, soy milk curdles really easily anyway. So I wouldn't try it with soy milk. Maybe almond or oat milk might. But it's probably the fat in the milk. I've got to remember what makes the curdles. Because buttermilk is the way. The leftover traditional buttermilk, real buttermilk, is left over from beating the cream to butter. And then you do the pats and you wash it and rinse it out and you've got your buttermilk left. So I'm not really sure about that. Someone else might know though. Yes, Glennis, you can. It's rather expensive. but handy if you want to add it to your food storage. Estelle says she thinks there's a way to make an equivalent for the plant-based. Okay. Kathleen cooks her pancakes on the barbecue. Yep. Coconut milk would be a replacement instead of buttermilk. Yeah. If you give it a try, let us know how it goes. We'd really be interested in knowing. So now, sorry, off track again. I'm easily distracted tonight. It's been a really, really crazy sort of few days. We went away, we came home, the garden had gone crazy. Anyway, so right. Basic ingredients that I keep, you know, the flour, the sugar, oats, rice, pasta. Give you options. But I have some tin things. I don't keep a lot of tin things. You're about to see all of them. So tin tomato soup is handy. You can make it if you want to, but I don't. Tin tomatoes. Now, last summer, tomatoes were hopeless, so I didn't have a lot to bottle, so I've had to resort to buying tins. These organic ones were on sale at Aldi a few weeks ago. Food Factory Sales had some SPC on sale for 70 cents a can a few weeks ago. Right. Baked beans. Guys, baked beans are the most versatile thing in the pantry, because I don't know how many times I have caught of a weekend Wayne just eating baked beans cold out of the tin with a spoon for his lunch. He loves cold baked beans, and in his mind, he's not dirtying a bowl. So it works for him. If I've been busy and he's got his own lunch, he'll eat baked beans straight out of the tin. But in toasties, on toast, my refrigerator lasagna recipe has baked beans in it to stretch them. Baked beans are really good for stretching mince meals. If you don't like TVP, you don't want to add oats to your mince meal, try baked beans. If you whiz them in the food processor, they become chopped up, obviously, into little pieces that look like mince. Put them into the mince and they don't show up. You can rinse the sauce off if you want to, or just add it to whatever you're making. They're really versatile. Add them to tacos and enchiladas. Put them in muffins. There's some really delicious, in the cakes and muffins file, really delicious recipes with baked beans. I was skeptical, but they're really, really good. Pineapple is the other thing I buy in, going out of camera here. Other thing I buy in tins, this is pineapple chunks or pineapple rings. We tend to use a lot of the pineapple chunks for pizzas. I have a really, really nice pineapple fruitcake recipe that works with these, and it is so moist. It's just really delicious. Pineapple in green jelly. If you drain your pineapple, this is fun for the kids. Drain the pineapple, save the juice, put it in a bowl, make up a green jelly with half boiling water and the rest of the juice from the tin, and pour it over your pineapple and let it set. It's just cute. It's fun. I used to do those in little little glasses that I had for the kids, and they really like those for special occasions. Good old tuna, you know, this is Aldi tuna. Is versatile. Salmon, tin salmon is versatile. Pasta. Now this, guys, this is the 50-cent pasta from the reject shop. It's really, really good. I was a bit skeptical. I wasn't absolutely sure that it would be any good. It cooks up beautifully. It is really, really good. And it is Australian. So there you go. Made in South Australia. But for 50 cents a packet, that's half the price of the Aldi pasta. That's pretty cheap. And they also have the spaghetti, they've got the penne, there's all different noodles. Depends on which store you go to. Some of my other pantry ingredient basics are for baking. So things like coconut, because coconut can be sweet or savoury, and it can be used in cakes, it can be used in desserts, it can be used in curries. You can add some coconut to some rice and put a curry over that, simple veggie curry over that. It's really, really nice. It's versatile. You can add coconut to custard, make coconut custard, and that's really, really nice. Things like that. And then fruit. Just tarnas, mixed fruit, apricots, glacé cherries, ready for the Christmas baking. They're all ingredients that are really versatile because they can be used for so many different things. They don't make one thing. So they're all, you have options. I'm reading comments about baked beans. That's pretty funny. Okay, Star Wars stew is really good. Yes, or cowboy stew. Estelle makes meatloaf, baked beans, nachos, haystacks, baked beans in haystacks. How could I forget haystacks? One of our most popular recipes. So all sorts of things. If you have ingredients, you have options. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have convenience, because convenience can be important. There are times when, it's nice to have something ready-made that you can just pull out of the pantry or the freezer or the fridge and heat and eat sort of thing. If you haven't been able to do your own freezer meals, having a frozen meal in the freezer is good. But if you've got ingredients, you've got the options, so that just because the menu plan says pasta bacon salad doesn't mean it has to be pasta bacon salad. It can be something else because you already have the ingredients. Now, the main meat ingredients I keep are mince, obviously, chicken, whole chickens, chicken fillets, drumsticks usually. That's about it. Haven't bought roast beef for ages. Legs of lamb have been far too expensive. Sometimes I will buy sausages if they're not too expensive, because we like curried sausages, we like sticky sausages, we like plum sausages in plum sauce. So they or sausages in bread, they work in the freezer. But otherwise, with the price of meat is very expensive. So I am looking at ways to stretch it even more and cut back a bit. Here we go. Amy. So excited. Just added a new shelving unit to my pantry. Thanks to hubby and kids. Oh, lovely. Merry Christmas. Do you know what? I came home, got home Sunday, 2 Christmas cards. It is officially Christmas season, folks. 2 Christmas cards waiting on my chair when I got home on Sunday afternoon. Should have seen the look on Wayne's face when I went, yes, we can put the Christmas tree up. I shop around. Estelle, I was loyal to Tasman. Their prices just went up and up and up. I was loyal to Australian butchers. Their prices just go up and up and up. I shop around. So wherever I find it and it's $8.99 or cheaper, that's where I will shop. And when I find it for that price, I buy a lot. Because I was at Australian Butcher last week, it was $9.99 for just the regular 3-star basic mince. The premium mince was $16.99 a kilo. It was outrageous. So I shop around. I'm no longer, sadly, I feel I would really like to say that I could be loyal to one particular butcher, but they just, no, the prices are just so ridiculous. And my budget hasn't gone up. My food budget hasn't gone up. My food budget's the same. So prices can go up all they like. It just means that we don't have something, or I look for a cheaper substitute. So that's what I spend my time doing. Joy. Oh, Hindustan Joy. They've gone up, I think, $1.40 from last year, but they're really, it's a kilo, really cheap. Now that probably lasts me about 3 or 4 months because I put it in the fruitcakes, obviously, but I make cherry marshmallow log and I do the cherry caramel slice and things like that. And so, a kilo sounds a lot and it looks like a big tub, but it won't last long. Well, all meat's expensive. Chicken is my cheapest option at the moment, and it's been the thing that I've been buying most of because I've been able to get chicken fillets a few weeks ago. It was probably a couple of months ago now. Chicken fillets were $4.99 a kilo, so lots and lots came home and got bottled, canned. So it's on the pantry shelf, ready to use, which is really, really convenient. But everything's expensive. Everything's expensive. And it's just going to keep on getting expensive. So we have to figure out. Last time I was at Costco, Maureen, the mince was $8.99 a kilo. Aldi supermarket cherries were $2 something. I did the price comparison. It's on the website. The dried fruit price comparison. It's on the website. So there we go. Now, Costco's not cheap. I really don't want to upset, but Costco is not cheap. You've got $60 a year or $59 a year or whatever it is to pay for your membership. And it's not cheap. It's not cheap. Flour is a little bit cheaper. I think works out to about 2 cents a kilo cheaper. Rice was the same price as Aldi, Coles and Woolies when I was there. Sugar, same price as Aldi. Lots of their prices are the same price as Aldi, and you can shop at Aldi without paying your membership. So, but if you like brand names and that's important to you, you might find a bargain. But also be aware that a lot of the produce is imported. It's not Australian. You need to really look carefully to find Australian produce at Costco. Okay, now. Alrighty. Now I lost myself. Find my notes again. Sorry, guys. I've clicked the wrong thing and I'm lost. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, that's me. I've done my thing. Ingredients give you options. Think about that when you are Think about that when you are planning and doing your shopping list. Think about the ingredients. Now, if you've got flour, sugar, butter, eggs, you've got a cake, you've got scones, you've got wraps, you've got tortillas for wraps, you've got naan, you've got damper, pancakes, lots of things. Whereas if you just buy the box of cake mix, you might have a cake or cupcakes. But those cake mixes don't make good pancakes. I know, I've tried. So think about those things. I'm not saying don't have cake mix in the cupboard for an emergency, because we all have emergencies. We all have emergencies. But with the ingredients, you have the options. You have the options. So, now, on that note, even one stick of cabanossi can be enough to flavour a pasta dish. Okay, here's the thing. In Victoria, we have cabana, not cabanossi. We got the real stuff. I have a son who absolutely loves a Kransky dish I make that I sort of nutted out from a meal we had in a restaurant. And you might see it on the meal plan. It might pop up on the meal plan quite often. It'll just be Kransky and barbecue sauce with potato bake. So if I don't have Kransky, because the Kranskys can be rather expensive, although they were on sale at Coles a few weeks ago, and I did stock up and put some in the freezer, but a stick of cabana sliced up and cooked with onion and brown sugar and balsamic vinegar to make a barbecue sauce I serve it with potato bake because I am hopeless at making the German potato salad. Is a really tasty meal. And you are right, Lucinda, one stick of cabanossi or cabana will feed all of us like that. So, vegetarians, a batch of red lentil note balls are great on hand for a multitude of dishes. Do you have a recipe for those, Lucinda? They sound good. Okay. Kerry, I bought 4 large sticks of cabana from a local butcher who makes his own. I bet they're good, and freeze in pieces and use as needed. Yep. That's Wayne's favourite snack. Sometimes after tea and he's watching TV or doing something, and I'll be ready to go to bed, and he'll come out and he'll go hunting in the fridge to see what is. And if he finds a little piece of cabana, he makes himself up a little plate with some cheese and some cabana and some crackers and a little bit of hummus, and he's happy. Thank you, Lucinda. The recipe would be really good. Okay, well, guys, it's 8:08. Bit early, but I don't know. I'm really concerned that we're talking about food shortages and we're still seeing them, and it's odd things that are missing now. Like I couldn't get peanut butter last week. Please. Finally got baked beans. Now I can't get peanut butter. But anyway, ingredients. We have ingredients, and we've got our pantries filled with ingredients. The food shortages don't necessarily have to bother us. If, the cake mixes are missing and the biscuit dough in the chiller cabinet's missing, or the pies in the freezer cabinet are missing, we have the ingredients at home to make those. There's try Elaine's Easy Pastry. It is a brilliant recipe. It's especially good. I like it especially for quiche because it rolls out really, really thin. And I don't like quiche with really thick pastry. I like quiche with nice, thin, crisp pastry. That pastry recipe, If you do type Elaine's Easy Pastry into the search on our Cheapskates Club website, it will pop up for you, is brilliant. It is easy and so simple. And you can make your own. So you've got ingredients. So if you can make your own pastry, you can make an apple pie, or you can do a meat pie, or you can do a quiche. If you don't want to do those and do pastry, do impossible pies. You can do there's sweet and savoury impossible pies that are really simple too, all in one bowl, into the dish, into the oven, forms its own crust. They are good too. So there's lots of options when you have ingredients. Okay, now, so keeping your pantry full of ingredients, you've got options, and one of the options is to not panic when things are running out at the supermarket, because you've filled your pantry with ingredients, so you know you can make things. If you've got to clear the shelf, clear the shelf. If people are too silly to take advantage of a markdown, and often it's pride. They don't want to be seen to be. There is no shame when it comes to discounted food. If it's marked down and it's there and nobody else is taking it, I will take it. And if I have the money in the budget, I will take the lot. If it can be frozen or I can preserve it, can it, dehydrate it, I will take the lot. No one else is taking it. It's just going to go to waste. It will be thrown out, and so I take the lot. I don't hesitate. It's no. Something like that, it's first in, best dressed for markdowns. Don't wait around. I've stood back and watched people move the markdown meat to pick up one that wasn't. So, yes, we should have little badges or something so we can recognise each other in the supermarkets or the stores, and we clear the shelf, some little symbol or something. So we know if we see the symbol, we'll leave some for you or tell you where it is, just in case you want it too. Yeah. No, I have no problem with clearing the shelf. I've done it with markdown meat. I've done it with shampoo and conditioner. I've done it with all sorts of things, whatever. Soups, when they're cheap and discontinued. So, yes, exactly, Joy. Yep. Our family is our first responsibility. That's true. And you can grow food depending where you are. Look, pretty much in Australia, you can grow something all year round. There's very, even northern parts and northwest might get dodgy in high summer, but you pretty much grow food in Australia all year round. Our garden goes all year round. So it's really easy. Maureen's just asking, how's my new garden? Tomatoes came home. Tomatoes went from that to that in 4 days. Not quite, but I've got lots of the tomatoes are looking good with lots of flowers on them. So fingers crossed that we don't get a big windy session. And there's loads and loads of flowers on the lavender. So there are loads and loads of bees around. Eggplants going well, capsicums are going well. We have strawberries are taking off. We have one more raised bed to put together and put up, and then we've got to smooth out all the lumps and bumps in that we've made in the back lawn. and finish down the side of the house. Still got to do the roof to the pergola. There's still a lot to do, but we went away for 4 days, but the rain is the hold up with this. So we'll get there. But we will have tomatoes this year. But tomatoes this year, I'm determined. And I've started more seeds. I've got more seeds in the little seed raiser thing that I made. So I've got more cucumbers and zucchinis in there, and some bok choy. So we'll see. It's filling up and coming up really well. Okay, what I did, because we are, the clay is awful. It's like we would pretty much make bricks with our stuff. So I tear up all the scrap paper, all the scrap cardboard, gets torn up and put in a bucket and covered with water to turn to pulp, and I dig that in. So there's one bed that's half filled with that sort of, I dig that into the clay. We dig in any lawn clippings, dig it in. It's because we're doing raised beds, so it's going to be towards the bottom and covered anyway. We keep the compost pile going, constantly turning that. Any vegetable peelings or anything aren't going in the bokashi bucket at the moment. They're going straight into that and get dug straight into that bed. So to break up the clay, Wayne dug in some, we had about half a bucket of wood ash that Wayne dug in for me. So it's been, it takes time and consistent digging. You develop muscles, but it can be done. It can be done without having to buy anything. It just takes time. Well, that was my plan, Estelle, to show you all, because I'm super excited about it. I just love raised vegetable. I've had raised garden beds for 15 odd years, but these are nice new ones, and they're all spick and shiny and everything, and the paving will be done. It'll all be pretty, and the fruit trees will be in place. So when it's done, if it stops raining long enough, we'll be able to do that. Yes, it is Delaney in the forum. It is need some inspiration to grow food is the thread. You are right. That is exactly right. You can top your beds with a cheap potting mix if you want to. It's $1.99 a bag or something like that. I think you can get it for on sale. But it's probably better more as dug into the clay to break it up. Now, the other thing you can do is just dig some lime. I think, is it lime? You can dig into clay to break it up. And it doesn't have to be a lot. So you can do things like that too to break it up. But the bed that we're filling at the moment, I started off with, the bottom was a big thick layer of cardboard. So all that online shopping the kids did over the last 15 months, kept all those boxes, and I carefully peeled off all the tape and ripped them all up and put down a good, probably good 10 centimetre layer of cardboard in the bottom of them, cardboard and paper. Then we topped it up with tree prunings and things like that. Then we were able to use the clay soil out of the bed that we moved into that, and we dug a whole heap of stuff into that. And thank you, Paula. I knew it was something. Gypsum, yeah. I don't really know. And Wayne's not here to ask. He would know straight away. Dig it in. Hunt around for it. You will find it. Reject shop. It'll turn up in $2, those types of places. Cheapest chips. We don't have cheapest chips here anymore. Places like that have it often for $1.99, $2.29 a bag. It's really, but it is, look, I wouldn't try to grow anything in it as potting mix. It's great for digging in to bulk up the soil. Yeah. Yeah, see, Delaney agrees. Potting mixes, there's varying degrees, and if you want, you pretty much get what you pay for. So to get a good one that's actually going to benefit whatever you plant in it, it's going to cost you about $8 a bag, and they're 25-litre bags. They're very small, so it can be quite expensive. Now, Amy said, where's Amy? My son is sitting here with me watching. Tyler. Hello, Tyler. Oh, I'm glad you find it interesting. The other thing to do, Estelle, is, the horse poo. Or I know Aldi, last week they still had some bales of pea straw. Hack it up and dig that in too. That all helps as well. And it will help as well. Mushroom compost. Paula's husband gets a trailer load of mushroom compost and it works great in garden beds. Yep. There's lots of things you can do to build up your soil. There's lots of things you can do to build up your soil without it costing a lot of money. Don't forget your tea bags and coffee grinds can go in. Things like that. I can hear, sorry guys, I'm listening to what's going on outside. Instead of paying attention to you, I'm sorry. You're welcome. All right. So ingredients give you options. I'm not saying don't have convenience, but I'm just saying stick to your ingredients. There you go. Free coffee grinds. Lucinda says many cafes are happy for you to take the coffee grinds away. Spread them out. Don't overdo it with the coffee grinds though, because they can become a problem. But yeah. And you just said for me, you have to be careful with the amounts to maintain the right job. There you go. Alrighty. Next week, have you all watched the Starter Prepper Journal video? If you haven't watched it, go and watch it, because next week I'm going to go over that in detail and I'm going to show you what I have in mind and how it works for me. And I only called it a prepper journal last week. It's just always been, where's my book? My book has been its name. So that's what I want to talk to you about next week. Not because we're preppers, because we're not preppers, are we? We prepare, but we are not preppers, because we don't panic. We don't panic and race around like headless chalks, grabbing whatever we can get our hands on. We have a plan and we work our plan. So there you go, someone at the door. that's what I'm going to talk about next week. I'm going to show you mine. Mine's actually in 2 bits, so you might find that interesting too. Anyway, have a really good week. I hope you dry out if you're soggy like we are. We've got 2 clear days and then we get more rain. So who knows? We may never get this landscaping finished. Have a great time. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you next week. Bye.